YouTube and fans. That's right, my name is TayVikes28, and we are back at it once again. It's been a while. That's the first thing I gotta say is welcome back if you are still with me. If not, here's to a new start, a new future, I guess. But that's right, we are coming back to YouTube. It's been about I want to say 2 or 3 years, but I think it's long awaited, and not to mention the fact that we never really got to experience what I have in store for you guys, and that's right, the return of the Toronto Huskies franchise. Madden 20, we're breaking it out again. Everyone has been talking about the new Madden, obviously Madden 23, and what there is wrong with Madden 23, essentially. There's a lot of franchise-breaking bugs in Madden 23. I almost got Madden 23 myself until I saw all the issues, which is unfortunate. I think all of us franchise fans and just football fans in general that play the game have been, waiting for a finished product from EA for a very long time. And I'd say that here in Madden 20, this is the first opportunity that we've really seen for a finished product. Because if you think about it, the Madden EA, games have not been finished since, I want to say, mid 2000s, early 2010s, something like that. It's been a very long time. So this is probably the closest that we've gotten to a fully finished game from EA in a very long time was Madden 20. Now, obviously, I do have Madden 22, and I thought about revamping the the Toronto Huskies franchise, moving it to Madden 22, figuring some stuff out. But I figured, you know what? Why do that? Because Madden 22 has some issues of its own. I was like, why do that when I can go ahead and just come back to Madden 20, a game that we all know and mostly love. I'm not going to say we all love it. I myself have some issues with the game. However, it is a pretty, decently put together game. And more than that, you got all the pieces here together once again for this Toronto Huskies franchise. I'm going to give you guys a little deep dive before we start this first game in the Huskies franchise. Now, previously, if you remember, I know it's been a long time, like 3 years or something like that, but the first ever episode of the Toronto Huskies, I did a quick little 15-minute video pretty much describing what this franchise was and some of the first moves of this franchise. So I'm going to go ahead and re-describe it in a sense. But you can also go check that out to actually see some of the moves that were made, and then go from there. But first things first here. So what is the Toronto Huskies franchise? Who are the Toronto Huskies? So the Toronto Huskies, long story short, they have an expansion franchise has been born here in the NFL. Not so much an expansion franchise, but more of a movement of a franchise. So the Jacksonville Jaguars owner, Shad Khan, as we all know him as the money mogul down there for Jacksonville, has in this world, he decided that he no longer wanted to be part of the NFL and the NFL landscape because it just wasn't working. His team wasn't winning championships. They weren't able to really make the playoffs that often, and really most of the football down there in Jacksonville was just bad, and it made a lot of the fans less interested in buying tickets, which means not as much money was being made, which means Shad Khan just didn't want any part of it. So he decided to go ahead and put up his team's rights and everything like that, sell the team, and figure out what to do next. And because we all know and love him, I decided to bring Mr. Ryan Fitzmagic, as you can see in the top right-hand corner there, back. Okay? Now you're going to say back, but in this game, he's still in the game. That's true, and I'll explain that in a second. But he has decided he's going to put down some of his career money that he's made in his time in the NFL, and he decided to buy this franchise and move them, okay? And move them to Toronto, a place that, let's be honest, they need some football up there in Canada. They need to get the Canadians involved with the NFL a little bit more. We all know and love the Canadian Football League, but why not get some NFL football up there too, you know? So we decided the Toronto Huskies. He went with the Toronto Huskies because the Huskies, everyone loves a Husky, you know? There's nothing wrong with a Husky. It's a great mascot. Everyone loves them. Some of the best dogs out there are Huskies. So I gotta say, Toronto Huskies, great selection from Ryan Fitzmagic, aka Ryan Fitzpatrick, who is now both in this world. He's going to be both playing, commentating, if you think about it, because he is now a commentator for Thursday Night Football for Amazon Prime. If you guys have not checked that out, and playing in this, so he's a jack of all trades here, and that's why we love him. But more than that, he decided to take the team and move them, and obviously with the movement, it was essentially not. It was like kind of an expansion team, but also a move at the same time. So all the players from Jacksonville, the team was gutted. There was no, because the team kind of disbanded. Nothing was left. All those players either went to different teams, signed through free agency, cut, whatever it is, right? So they are gone, and they had to start fresh with Toronto. And so throughout the first season of the Huskies, so I simmed the first season in 2019 so I could get the actual Huskies team in here. So that first season was a little bit of a pretty much just like a fast forward. So we fast forwarded, we made some moves. Check out our first episode, the edited video, about 15 minutes long on my channel, to see all the moves that were made, because we started out with about a 65 or 66 overall across the board at the beginning of last season. We simmed through, some guys got better. We also made some moves in free agency, the draft, and a few other things. So because it was an expansive franchise, I kind of viewed it as similarly to what the 2K franchises do, where it's like an expansion draft where you can go ahead and take players from all the other rosters, but they are pretty much the lower tier players, or maybe some older veterans. And that's what I did here to start the franchise off. And then I went out and obviously had a couple of extra draft picks because it's an expansion franchise. So we went ahead and got some extra draft picks, and then made some selections. So we had some youth on the team, as well as some veterans that we signed through free agency. So let's go ahead and take a look. As you can see, from a 65 or 66 overall all the way up to a 75 in one off season. Pretty good movement here. A lot of players got better, as well as we made a lot of moves. So let's go ahead and take a look as to some of these moves that were made. And looking at the roster to start this thing off, as you can tell, not a very great roster. We only got a couple of players in the 80s here to start things off, and that's not really how you're going to win football. But you got to start somewhere. All right, a lot better than it was, I'll say that. So looking at the Huskies here, we'll go position by position, and starting at the top here, at the quarterback, our quarterback, aka our owner, he decided, I'm going to just go ahead and make myself a starting quarterback by owning a franchise. And that's what he did here with Ryan Fitzpatrick as our QB1 for this upcoming season. I know, 68 overall, that doesn't show anything though. He's a great QB. We all love him. So he's going to be QB1. We got Josh Dobbs behind him, and Philip P.J. Walker coming in here as the QB3, the star of the, I forget which, was it XFL? Something like that. But the star quarterback from that folded league is now our QB3. Possible QB of the future. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. And then looking at the running backs here, we've got not a great stable here. A lot of young guys, but that's one thing that you'll see. A lot of youth on this team, if nothing else. So we got John Kelly's the RB1 possibly. I don't know. We'll have to see. We also have Patrick Laird and Raquel Armstead. So we're going to kind of have a little competition here as the season goes on. We're going to have to figure out who is the guy for this squad moving forward. One of these guys is going to have to stand out and take that starting role for this year. We'll have to figure out which one it is, though. Fullbacks, we have Jacob Johnson, it's fullback, you know. But then at wide receiver, we made some additions throughout the first free agency. So for those of you that are wondering, I did put the draft classes by CeeDee Lamb. Obviously, CeeDee Lamb wasn't in this game because you got to think it's Madden 20, right? But I put that first draft class in there. But the only way for me to do it, because I had to put it in during the first, like before the first draft. So all those free agents were, well, or all those drafted players were, well, free agents. So a lot of the guys I went ahead and signed some of them, like CeeDee Lamb I signed, Henry Ruggs, who, well, we all know what happened there. So maybe that's going to change. Maybe there's going to be a little bit of story behind that. We'll have to wait and see. And then we've got our rookie that we drafted, Keontae Bonds, who I'm pretty excited to get on the football field. Could be our wide receiver 2 or 3. And then we have Trent Sherfield, Terry Godwin, and Ashton Doolin. A couple of depth guys here who might find some playing time as the season rolls on. But as you can see, very young receiver core, no one over 24 years of age, which is hopefully a good sign for the future. And then at the tight end position, we went out and got the veteran presence of Delanie Walker in free agency. Very excited. He's a very good tight end, who, one of my favorite tight ends during his time in the NFL. Delanie Walker, consistent, 36 years old, great addition to the squad. Hopefully he can put up some nice plays in his probably final year in the NFL at 36. And then we have Jesper Horsted back there as tight end number 2, possibly tight end of the future from Princeton. And then at the left tackle spot, we went out and signed Jedrick Wills. So he was available, and we were like, why not? We need some offensive line. That's how you build teams. You got to have a good offensive line. They are involved in every single play. Running, passing, does not matter. Special teams even. If you cannot get viable starting offensive linemen, you will never succeed. And I'll explain to you why it's so important, especially in what this franchise will be here in a second after we're done with this. So then we have Sam Tevi here as the backup. We have Justin School right now, young guard here to start this thing out. And then we also have Wes Martin to back him up. Not great guard here, but got to work with what you have. And then we have Nick Harris, who we signed in the offseason, a young center who hopefully will be the center of the future as long as he plays well. Depth behind him. And then we went out and actually drafted a right guard, 77 overall, Lorenzo Betts, in the first draft. I'm very excited to get him involved here because I'm thinking he could be a staple for us in the long term. 93 strength, he's a very strong guy. Hopefully if we can develop him, he can become our staple right guard and don't have to worry about that position for a decade or more. And then we have Elijah Wilkinson and Jamon Brown, a couple of depth guys here at the guard position who we can probably play just about anywhere in that interior. And then we have the right tackle, Isaiah Wilson, who we signed through free agency. And once again, another storyline that maybe we'll have to take a look at into the future. For those of you that don't know, I'm pretty sure Isaiah Wilson is no longer playing football, let alone football in the NFL. And then we have Merrill Wiley, the rookie that we went ahead and drafted. Depth guy who could be the starter depending on what happens with Isaiah Wilson for the future. So keep an eye on that. And then at the left end spot, one of my favorite, I'm a Vikings fan for those that do not, or I'm a Vikings fan for those that do not know. Ifedi Odenigbo, I'm a huge fan of him. I always thought he was a good player. And even after he left the Vikings, continued to perform well. And so I went ahead and we got him as our starting left end. We have Efe Obada, and it says no college because that's right, he didn't go to a college. Where is he from? Well, he is actually from if I'm not mistaken, somewhere in, I want to say maybe Africa. He is one of the international players though that the NFL has been trying to get involved. The NFL is always trying to get more and more players from across the ponds, I will say. And so Efe Obada is one of those guys who was actually given a few years ago. The NFL opened up a thing where every team had, I think it was 1 or maybe 2 available spots to solely sign players that were not from America. All right, so that will be somewhere anywhere from Europe to Asia, Africa, anywhere. All right, and they went ahead and allowed every team one or two spots to sign players like that. And he was, if I'm not mistaken, the Panthers went ahead and signed F.A. Abada to be their defensive end. So he's going to come in and join us and see if he can make a impact for this season. And then we have Rasheem Green as the right end here. Young player. We'll have to see whether he sticks on the roster or not, how his development is. And then we have Carlos Watkins as some backup depth. Defensive tackle, we got our rookies here. Floyd Ellis, our first ever draft pick, if I'm not mistaken, with 95 strength. The man is a huge human. 6'6", 304. And I am very excited to see him play. I think he will be a staple for our defense for probably the next decade. I don't think I'm going to let him go at any point, but we'll have to see how things go. And then behind him, we got another rookie here, and Terrell Beckwith. We had to work on this defensive line because we really didn't have much, all right, to work with. Even in free agency, there wasn't a ton. So we went out and got these two in the draft, and I'm very excited to say that they are ours for the future. And then we have Tim Settle, a very good defensive tackle, underrated DT, who played for Washington and now is, I believe, with the Buffalo Bills. And then we have Jalen Holmes as a good depth piece down the stretch here. Good stuff here. And then we got the left outside linebackers. We got Joe Giles Harris as our starting left outside. Edmund Robinson, former Viking, as a backup here. And then moving on to the middle linebacker, we signed veteran Josh Bynes to be that veteran presence in the middle to essentially call the defensive plays. We need that captain in the middle, and even though he's not a captain right now, which we might have to fix that, he will be the guy calling the plays for this defense. Very excited to get a veteran presence in the middle because we didn't have anything. As you can see, we had one guy who played middle linebacker, and that is Josh Harvey Clemens. So I desperately needed someone there. And then at the right outside linebacker spot, the guy who really broke out in that first season was Quincy Williams. He started out the season as like a 65 or 66 overall, and in one season jumped up to a 77 overall. Really impressive stuff from him. His dev trait got upgraded. He got a bunch of XP, and he was just a monster. Got a lot of sacks in that first year, and he's got some speed with 87 speed. So I'm excited to see what Quincy Williams can do for the future. Probably will be a good staple for years to come on this defense. And then we have Zaire Franklin, another depth piece who could be a starter at some point. Currently is starting for the Indianapolis Colts in the NFL. And then we have Josh Caraway here as a depth piece. At the corner position, though, we had to get our staple number one corner because without that, it's going to be tough to succeed in this NFL. So we went ahead and grabbed Logan Ryan for a season. Even though he plays safety towards the end of his career, we went ahead and grabbed him to play corner. At this point in his career, he was playing corner still. So we went ahead and grabbed him at an 87 overall, our highest rated player on the team. Hopefully he can play well for us because let's just say we desperately need it. And then we got Richie Branch, the rookie, at a 76 overall. Glad to see him at a 95 speed because we don't have a lot of speed on this team for the most part. So Richie Branch, 95 speed. He can be that guy who can run down plays if we have to have him do so. Hopefully he is able to do that, as well as be a great cover corner. And then we have Nick Needham and Nick Nelson, the Nick duos, and I'm very excited for these two. I think that they could be great players if given enough development. They don't have blazing speed with 88 and 86 speed. However, I think I can morph them into a viable starting duo for the future. I want to see what they can do, and hopefully they stick on this roster long term. And then we have Kadar Holman and Tay Hayes, some depth pieces who might turn into decent corners a few years down the line. And then at safety, we've got Lano Hill as our starter at free safety. We don't really have much here at the safety position. Doug Middleton there. And then at the strong safety position, we did sign veteran Rashad Jones, who will be another guy that we rely on the back end. He may not have the speed that he once does with 83 speed. However, he's a great veteran playmaker who can tackle well and can make plays. He can intercept the football. He can force fumbles. He is that veteran presence in the back end that we really didn't have. So we went out and grabbed him in free agency, and I'm very excited to see how he plays. Will probably obviously not be a long-term fit for us, but for a season, I think he'll be a-okay. And then we got Andrew Wingard, two former Dolphins here at the safety position. And then we have Josh Lambo and Matt Hack as our kicker and punter. And so, looking at the draft picks, we have a slew of draft picks for the future. Now, obviously, this is because of the transition from the transition of the whole franchise, essentially. Because we did trade, obviously, some players away for some draft picks and various stuff. Obviously, we are not going to use all these draft picks, in case you're wondering. We are not going to do that. We will probably trade some draft capital to some teams that need it, and just to essentially even out this franchise, make it a little bit less ridiculous, a little more realistic. So we're going to probably get rid of some of these draft picks. Maybe we'll trade a slew of draft picks for some good players or something, or just some depth, something like that. A lot of these like middle round picks, 4 or 5, 3, 4, 5. Maybe we can combine a few of them and maybe get a good depth piece, or something like that. So that could be something that we do moving forward. We'll have to just wait and see. We do have 2 first-round draft picks this upcoming season, though, so I'm excited to see what those transition into. And then, obviously, on the practice squad right now, we have Russell Gage, actually. Shout out to him. I'm excited to see if he stays on the practice squad. I don't know if he can, but they love signing guys from there, so we'll see. And then we have a slew of other guys, another ex-Falcons receiver, current, actually, Falcons receiver, and Olamide Zacchaeus, and then a few other guys down here, Travis Homer, the Seattle running back, Easton Stick at quarterback, and a few others. So we'll have to see if any of these guys end up developing into anything at the end of the season. And that pretty much rounds out the Huskies roster breakdown and kind of catches you guys up. And let me explain to you how are we going to play this franchise, which is why I was saying that the offensive line here is very important. So I will not be physically playing the games, all right? So we're about to get into our first ever game, and for those that are wondering how this works, what do you mean you're not going to be playing the game? Well, what exactly that means, I will be going ahead and jumping in. This is what makes it fun, all right? Because we won't be able to just, spam the same couple of plays and end up, winning the game on some just great play calling or something like that. This is going to be a situation where we have to build a roster that wins without us, okay? Think NFL head coach back in the day. I don't know if you guys remember that NFL head coach where you coached up the team, you did everything except for physically play the games. That was left to your team. It's kind of that experience if you think about it. As an NFL head coach, there's nothing that you can do once you put your players on the team, or excuse me, on the field. Like, it's up to the players to make plays at that point. And that's kind of what we're doing here with this, because we will not be playing the games. We will be watching the games, however. So we're going to go ahead and jump in and watch the entire game and just kind of see how this ends up playing out. They will be commentated, obviously. We're going to go ahead and commentate them, not through the commentators in the game. We will be commentating them, and we will be looking at how this team develops. We're going to probably see some bad play, we're going to see some good play, and obviously probably some lacking in clock management, because that's just the way the entire Madden works. However, since both teams will be lacking that clock management, it will be okay. That's kind of what I value, or what I'm, I guess, seeing it as. Since both teams will have a lackluster clock management skill, it almost makes it even that way. Actually, it does make it even, because since no one has any clock management, we all can be Mike McCarthy, all right? That's essentially what we're doing here. So we're going to jump in and have our first ever Toronto Huskies game against the Cleveland Browns of all teams, which, if those of you, that have played Madden 20, there are two teams that are just always good, no matter how you go about it. Assuming you use the rosters, like the regular rosters, the Browns and the Cowboys are just OP in Madden 20. So this is going to be a really tough matchup to start things off here. In the Den, that's right, the name of our stadium is the Den. Obviously, hashtag run with the pack, if for those of you that are wondering what I'm talking about. I have an NFL insider, quote unquote, a Twitter account solely for this franchise. Now, I had to recreate my Twitter account from 2 or 3 years ago that I used. It was called On the Record, at On the Record, and that is ONTHEWRECK RD. However, add a 1 at the end of the handle because previously I had made an account. I couldn't get back into it for some reason, so I had to recreate the account essentially. So we have an NFL insider though, solely for this. Kind of think of an Ian Rappaport of this franchise. So for those of you that are wondering, what does that mean? You can expect some updates occasionally through whether it be signings, whether it be when we're going to be streaming, if I do some more live streaming. That's the other thing. I haven't decided if I want to live stream this more or go ahead and switch to a video-based, like edited videos for you guys. Explain, maybe shout out in the comments which one you would prefer, whether it be a live stream. A live streaming is easier for me because obviously I don't have to edit anything. However, the edited videos obviously might look a little better for you guys, so just kind of let me know. But obviously you can get involved a little more with the live stream side of things. So just let me know what you would prefer if you have a preference, and we'll go from there. I might do a little bit of both throughout this series and figure it out from there. But we're going to start with some live streams here, because initially I did an edited video for the first episode. Now we're going to do a live stream for the game and then see how it works from there. And the other thing is I'm going to probably be editing the time on the games a little bit, depending on how things work, because I don't know actually how much, more or less, how much the we're gonna have to use in terms of like whether it be 6-minute quarters, 7-minute quarters, 10-minute quarters, whatever it is, to make it realistic. And yes, we're gonna be on All Pro because I'm not playing the game. The reason I have it on All Pro is because that is probably the most realistic in terms of the quarterback play and things like that. All Pro is the easiest one to get the most realistic sim play. If you do not do All Pro and go to All Madden, now I play on All Madden, however, I don't do a sim franchise on All Madden, and that's due to the fact that for some reason when you are watching a game on All Madden, it's like the quarterbacks are all Tom Brady. Alright, I don't know what it is, and it's something with the game with all Madden. Everyone's good, always. So instead, we're going to go with All Pro. It actually has the most realistic aspect to these simulation games. And then obviously we're going to have trade deadlines, we're going to have all of this good stuff, and hopefully, hopefully we can get this to succeed. We're going to have coach firing on, which maybe I don't know. We'll have to see. We are the owner, so it does not matter. Coach firing is on. We like that. And then obviously salary cap is going to be on. Relocation, I have it on users only, so we don't end up with a bunch of random weird teams. And for those of you that are wondering what the settings are, this is why I'm going through here. The injuries are going to be on. We're going to have practice squad stealing on, as they will always steal our practice squad players. No one else's, as we all know that. And then we're going to probably do 9-minute quarters. That's why I have it set on right now. So we're going to do 9-minute quarters, see how this plays, and then if the stats are maybe, a little wonky, whether it be we need more passing or rushing, we just need more plays, offensive or defensive plays, so maybe we'll go ahead and crank that up to 10 or 11 or something like that. Or if it's too crazy, maybe there's 1,000 yards in a game, then we're gonna crank that back down to 6-minute quarters or something. We're gonna start with 9 though, and hopefully get a nice happy medium there. And then we're gonna go ahead. Obviously, I have everything set on auto. I do not do the training, however, because that's just it annoys me. It really does. I don't like to go through and play all the various things. So everything else is going to be on manual though, and then we are going to have all of this stuff off because we are the GM, head coach, whatever you want to call it, of, well, I guess not the head coach, because technically our head coach right now is, unfortunately, John Gruden. We'll have to make some changes here this upcoming off season or something like that. Whenever his contract is up, we will probably be getting rid of that man for obvious reasons. So, looking at it though, right now, that is the settings for this. These sliders, I believe I have the sliders put in, hopefully. I don't know. Yes. No. Yes. Yeah, we'll have to go ahead and check that out and see if that is correct. I'm honestly not sure. Player skill, that's... well... yeah. Anyways, I will probably, once again, kind of work on those slider sets. That's what I'm kind of working with, though, to begin. And then moving on here, I think that's pretty much everything. We went through the roster. We went ahead and got to, I guess, make sure the depth chart's set here real quick. And then everything else, I think, is going to be... we have Patrick Laird as our starter, actually, right now. John Kelly is third string, ironically. I think that was because of the preseason. He didn't do too hot there. And then, obviously, going through here, all this should probably be as expected for the most part. We might have to make some signings, though. We do have a lot of various, I guess, extra depth we need more than anything. So looking through here, we actually have Lorenzo Betts starting at left guard. I'm not sure why that is, but we're probably going to play him there and be completely fine with that because we do have Elijah Wilkinson. So hopefully that doesn't end up hurting us in the long run. We have Rasheem Green, obviously, starting. I don't know why they do this. They always flip left and right end. I'm not really sure why. It makes no sense to me, but they always do it. And then Floyd Ellis and Terrell Beckworth with here, and then we got Quincy Williams. Once again, they flip it left and right. So it's Quincy Williams on the left side instead of the right side. And then we have Josh Bynes and Zaire Franklin, actually, starting over here. And then at the corner spot, we got a couple of guys here that I'm really excited to see what these corners do. They're either going to be really good or really bad. That's usually how it goes, isn't it? And then we've got Rashad Jones in the back end. All this stuff seems to be alright. We're going to just test out Ashton Doolin right now for kick returner. And then obviously CeeDee Lamb I'm going to have in there as our punt return man. And if he gets hurt, so be it. You know, I mean, it's whatever. We gotta get some plays. You know, kickoff specialist, all that good stuff is just as expected. Patrick Laird is our third down back, and then John Kelly is probably going to be number 2 there. Power, John Kelly. All right, he's the power back. He is the big boy out of these guys. Ironically, he's not heavier than everyone else, but he plays heavier, if that makes sense. He's our power back, and then it's the slot wide receiver. We're going to put the rookie in there, Keontae Bonds. Hopefully he can get some development that way. We all know slot receivers in this game are broken, so hopefully he can do it there. And then we have Efedio Denebo as our rush left end, rush right end, Rasheem Green. I'm wondering, though, if I shouldn't put Quincy Williams in there. I think I'm going to do that. Put Quincy Williams in as a rush right end. I think that's what I'm going to do. Fedio Denebo, that's fine. Rush DT. Got to have the rookies. Sub linebacker. I'm not going to have Quincy Williams in there, actually. I'm going to go ahead and try and do something like this instead. Because I want Quincy Williams to be a rusher. That's how we got such good development in that first year. Slot corner, we got, obviously, Logan Ryan as a slot corner. 5'11", that seems fine to me. We could put in, obviously, Nick Nelson. I do want the rookie starting outside at 6'2". I want to see if he can go up against some of these guys, so that's fine. And then the practice squad, we don't need that, so we're going to roll with this, see what we can do here with our roster. I'm excited to see how this goes in their first ever game, and I guess it's time. It is time to see what this team can do at the Den. That's right, Toronto Husky football is here. I forget how to do this, so bear with me. It's been a while. Alright. There's some way that I can move over the middle so I don't play, but I'll have to kind of figure that out. So I'll do play full game, and then maybe we can go from there, question mark. Alright, we're going to test this out, and then maybe we'll jump back out if it's not going to let us do it. I forget how to do this. It's been so long. Like, look at how crazy this Browns team is with all these highly rated players. It's not letting me do the controller select. Maybe I'll do the kickoff and then we'll go from there. We're just gonna, hopefully if they kick it to the end zone, let it, no, they don't. So, we'll do this kickoff and see what we can do.
Let's go, baby!
And we got Ryan Fitzmagic, a.k.a. Ryan Fitzpatrick, the bearded god himself, coming onto the football field. Hopefully he can do some good stuff for us this season. Now I'm going to see if I can't change my... Oh. Alright, that's really, really wonderful stuff. So we're going to exit this, see how to do this. I'm just a moron. Alright. So we're going to try this again. Alright, now that we have been not intelligent here for a minute, it's been so long, for those of you that are wondering why I'm struggling right now, it's been so long since I played Madden 20. Like, I did buy Madden 21. I didn't want to. I got it as a discount, however, which, thank God, because the game was terrible, as everyone knows. And then I also got Madden 22, which was a little bit better. I liked what they were trying to do with some of the things. However, it just wasn't a finished game, you know, as we all know. I mean, it took till like December for them to actually, you know, go in and do some of the stuff that they should have been doing from the very beginning. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and do slow speed, and we're going to go to the end of the game. Hopefully that doesn't mess anything up. Alright. And we are off our first ever game here in Toronto Huskies football. As the kickoff, we do end up tackling him at the 30-yard line. Not great kick coverage, but it'll have to do here as we have Baker Mayfield coming onto the football field. That's right, number 6 himself, 83 overall running out here. More than that, though, he's got a pretty good arm in this here version, so unlike in real life. Anyways, Baker in the shotgun formation here. He takes the snap, drops back. No pressure. He's got all day to throw the football. Accurate pass, and that's right, Odell Beckham with a first catch in this game. No first down. Got close. Couldn't get around the blocker there, though. All right, second down. It is Nick Chubb getting the handoff. Actually, got Kareem Hunt on Nick Chubb. Forgot Kareem Hunt is there. And then we have him going for a first down. Quick tackle, though, so hopefully we can get some more of that in this game. We got man in motion here, a couple of tight ends on the football field. Good blocking once again. Nick Chubb with the run. And look at this offensive line that they have. They have such a great offensive line, and then some good playmakers. Austin Hooper out there at the tight end position. They have a slew of guys at every position on this Browns roster. One of the Super Bowl contenders for sure this season. And that is Nick Chubb trying to make things happen. And we do get the tackle, though. Good stuff there. Outside. And we can see our defensive front. Real scary guys here. Quincy Williams, though, I'm excited to see him play. Number 56. We got Logan Ryan outside, who I believe just made that tackle.
Right. 184 Mike. I got.
Alright. The Browns drop back. Immediately throws to the right side. Good catch and a little bit of a run. That is Jarvis Landry. 11-yard reception. And they are in plus territory. Toronto Huskies' first drive on defense. Not going too well. I believe that is once again Logan Ryan with the tackle. He might lead the team in tackles with the way it's heading right now. Alright. They line up with two tight ends on the right. Play action here. Baker drops it off. Nick Chubb make the tackle though. 3 for 3 Baker on this drive, 27 yards. He's looking quite good. And they also seem to be getting a decent handful of yards on about every play, no matter what the play is. A handoff here to the middle. Kareem Hunt grabs it, gets a first down too. It is 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line. They're in field goal range at this point. In a rainy situation in Toronto, though, we'll have to see how that affects the game moving forward. Kareem Hunt takes this handoff, gets only 3 yards, and kind of gets upended at the end there. Pretty aggressive tackle there. I believe that might be Richie Branch, if I'm not mistaken. Coming in from his safety position. Yes, it is.
180! 57, come on! Watch the screen! Watch the screen!
Alright, in the shotgun. Handoff. And first ever tackle for loss here. Kareem Hunt in the backfield. That's right. That's our rookie. Our #1 pick. Ellis coming out from the middle, making that tackle. I'm excited to see what he can do for the future. I think that this Toronto Huskies franchise grabbed themselves a star, an Aaron Donald-esque player in the middle of that defensive line. All right, and now we have Baker Mayfield dropping back here. His eyeball, he's got all day to throw the football. Drops it off down to Kareem Hunt. 3rd and 9, and they don't get it. Our defense comes up with a big stop. Toronto Huskies stop them on a 6-yard reception, 3 yards short, but they're in field goal range. So I still consider that a win for this Huskies team. A team that is clearly overmatched, but yet they're trying. And that is, I believe, Josh Bynes, that's right, the captain on this squad, making a play. Alright, 43-yard attempt, and they nail it. Cleveland goes up 3-0 over Toronto. We'll have to see how this weather affects both the kicking game and the passing game, though, to be honest. I think that those are the two things that are going to be most affected with this pretty steady downpour here in Toronto. And they go ahead and return this, though, the Huskies, that is, to the 25, about the same as if they would have just kneeled the ball. And the bearded legend himself, Ryan Fitzpatrick, coming out onto the football field. You know, he just brought this franchise this past year, and I am very interested to see. I mean, we've never seen an owner who is playing still. So we'll have to see how this transpires. He drops back and, oh no, had a wide open guy in Patrick Laird coming out of the backfield. But that's just not it. This offensive line here, this unit, is very young. This team is very young. So we'll have to see how these young players, you know, coincide with the veteran presence of Ryan Fitzpatrick on the squad. And we've got first run in the Toronto Huskies history here. And this defensive front with Myles Garrett is going to be a huge problem. The linebacker core, though, is a little weak, which might be where they can attack this Browns defense. Alright, and it's their first 3rd down here in Toronto Huskies history. It's 3rd and 7. They've got 3 wide receivers set. They get the football out quick on a screen pass that just doesn't get going here. Only a 2-yard gain. You know, they completed it and they got some yardage, but they just didn't get the blocks. It was well read by Myles Garrett, coming out of the backside. Almost gets the pick, but at least does get the tackle, and forces a punt here in the first offensive drive in Toronto Husky football. So we will have to see how they end up doing here to really get some sort of yardage moving forward in this football game. And we got Matt Hack kicking this. Very nice kick coverage there. He fields the ball at about the 19 and gets to the 21. Jarvis Landry nowhere to go, with both of the gunners getting to him about the same time. And now Baker Mayfield in this offense comes back out there. They've got some work to do here. All right, they did get a good drive going in that first offensive possession, but they only got a field goal out of it. And they hand this football off, and that's right, Nick Chubb getting himself 5 yards. Easy 5 yards. They got a bunch set on the left side there, and that's exactly where they go. To the tight end, Austin Hooper, for first down. Baker Mayfield 5 for 5 to start this day. In the first quarter, everything that they're doing has been succeeding so far. Alright, we got I formation here. Nick Chubb rolling down the football field, 9 yards. Alright, we got the running back here behind Baker. It's going to be another handoff. It is. Nick Chubb gets stuffed, though, this time. Nowhere to go. Barely gets to the line of scrimmage. It's third down. Can we see another stop from this Toronto defense? This would be huge. And they run a play action. All right, and they completed downfield. What a nice throw right there. Good stuff from Baker Mayfield. 6 for 6 with a 21-yard reception to Austin Hooper. That's 2 catches in a row for Austin Hooper, and just finding the open spots against this defense, you know. Despite the fact that Logan Ryan was there, he wasn't able to make a play on the ball. All right, end of the first quarter here. The score is 3-0 right now. I'm wondering how many points are going to be put up on this rainy day here in Toronto. I feel like it might be a low-scoring affair. However, I still think that Brown's offense is just so much better than this Toronto Huskies defense. And we got a pitch out here to Nick Chubb. Gets around the corner, gets a nice block, and almost gets to the line to gain. It is 2nd and inches now. If they keep running the football like this, it is not going to be a contest at all. In field goal range already. And they run the football again, breaking tackles in the backfield. Despite the fact that he did get grabbed in the backfield, Nick Chubb still gets the first down and about 7 yards, give or take. And now all of a sudden, the Browns are rolling. Nick Chubb gets all the blocking in the world on that run. Or excuse me, Kareem Hunt. I do it every time. The Kareem Hunt Nick Chubb duo is tough to discern the two backs. They have such similar running styles. Obviously, Hunt is a little bit quicker. Chubb's a little bigger. We'll have to see if they both end up staying with the Browns moving forward. I'm curious. It's going to be a pretty deadly duo if they do both stay with the Browns. And Fitzmagic on the sideline is just not a happy camper. He's like, what is wrong with our defense? It is 1st and goal at the 9. Baker hands the football off again. All the blocking in the row. He could have ran for 100 yards. I believe that is Nick Chubb, or excuse me, Kareem Hunt, vulturing the touchdown from Nick Chubb there, making it pending the extra point, 10-0. Look at that nice block on the outside by, I believe that was Odell Beckham, just sealing that edge. Kareem Hunt could literally walk to the end zone right there. And this Toronto Huskies defense just looks overmatched right now, as expected. And the point after is good. Austin Siebert. He's got 2 rushes for 21 yards and a touchdown on that drive, Kareem Hunt. He's averaging over 10 yards a carry on that drive. Not bad stuff, huh? All right. And another return here, but just nowhere to go.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
All right, this Toronto Huskies offense rolls back onto the football field. They desperately need to get some first downs. You know, that's even if they can't score here. We all know how great this Cleveland team is. If they can't score, they have to at least be able to find a way to get some first downs in some yardage. All right, we got Ryan Fitzpatrick under center, hands this football off to Patrick Laird, who I believe gets 2 yards on the play. Not even, about a yard and a half. Sheldon Richardson making the tackle, and just blows that play up. Patrick Laird getting about half a yard before he gets absolutely demolished. And Fitzpatrick struggling, and all of a sudden he finds his man open. First down for this Huskies offense. And that's Patrick Laird. He seems to be the go-to man in this offense right now. Not CeeDee Lamb, not Henry Ruggs. It is Patrick Laird. right. Nice play. Fitz looked like he was about to roll out, and then at the last second, eyeballed Patrick Laird open in the middle for a first down. First down for this Huskies offense. They got multiple tight ends out on the right. And they hand the football off. That's where they run. Ooh, breaking some tackles there. Patrick Laird with a nice run here. I believe it was about 6 yards. They got 3 wide receivers on the left-hand side, or a bunch set. And another run. This time it is going to be Reichwell Armstead with a 1-yard run. Doesn't get a lot, but hopefully with 3rd and 2 they can convert here and just keep this good offense going. And they do. Oh, and they are going to get more. What an ugly tackle.
Personal foul. Face mask.
Yep.
Defense.
Face mask on this Cleveland defense. Mac Wilson, the young linebacker. He's young. He's going to make those types of mistakes. You see that a lot in the NFL. Young players just trying to make a play. And that is John Kelly getting the first down there. All right, Fitzpatrick in the backfield all by himself here. And, he gets that football out, but it's almost like the receiver just wasn't prepared to catch that football. In plus territory, Fitzpatrick completes the first pass here on this drive, I believe, outside of that Patrick Laird reception. And it is Delaney Walker with 9 yards. It's 3rd and 1. Can we get another 3rd down conversion? And it does not look like it, as that is Myles Garrett shutting that down. 4th and 1 here. I'm assuming that they're going to go ahead and kick this football, but we'll have to wait and see. They could go for it. If they want to be aggressive, we're going to have to see how aggressive is this team. They're going for the field goal. They're going for the points. Probably a good decision here, given the defense. All the leg in the world, and it is good. Josh Lambo with the nice kick here gets the first points in Toronto Huskies franchise history. Good stuff. That was a good drive. That is the type of drive we're going to need from Ryan Fitzpatrick this season in order for them to get some wins. All right. It's going to be a touchback here for this Browns team. Starting at the 25, Baker and company comes back on the football field. All right, we got I formation here. Baker Mayfield under center. He snaps the ball, handing it off to Nick Chubb. 2-yard carry here, right up the middle. We'll take 2-yard carries all day long from this team. Oh, nice catch there. 7 for 7, Baker. That is Odell with about a 6-yard reception. All right, got Nick Chubb in the backfield, and they're going to fake it to him. Throw it over the middle, and they get the first down with some extra effort there.
Let's go, boys. Let's go.
I believe that is Tavon Taylor. Not Trent Taylor, Tavon Taylor. Look at that defensive lineman just jumping on his back to make the tackle. That is some effort. That's the type of effort that this Huskies defense is going to have to play with all season long. If they put up effort like that, I really do believe that this Huskies team can get some special plays. Maybe get some wins this year. All right, they set up a screen on the right side, and a broken tackle. Should have been a play in the backfield, or for very little gain, ends up with a 2-yard gain instead. Alright, this is going to be the 2-minute warning. Cleveland coming out of the 2-minute warning. They've got 2 receivers on the right. And that is exactly where Baker looks, almost throws a pick. Throws it right at the linebacker in the middle. But unfortunately, he's unable to make the interception. We got Baker going deep and wide open. Nice throw good completion. I believe that is Austin Hooper again. When they need big plays, they go to Austin Hooper. That is a 25-yard reception. He seems to be the big play, ironically, the big play guy, not Odell. It is Austin Hooper for this team right now, making the big plays when they need it most. It just seems like they don't have the speed to keep up with Austin Hooper. Josh Bynes is not as young as he once was, and let's just say I think that's going to be where they are going to continue to pick on this defense. Ironically, not going after the young guys, going after the aging veteran. As the screen is set up here on the right-hand side, but they read it perfectly. Tackle him in the backfield, and Josh Bynes, it was like he heard what I was saying. It's like, really, watch this. As he comes out there, makes a tackle for a loss. I think it's a 3-yard loss on that play. Absolutely destroying Kareem Hunt coming out of the backfield. Alright, the clock is running with 1:10 to go. They hike the ball over the middle. That is Odell Beckham with the catch. Down to the 30 in field goal range. First time out for the Cleveland Browns here. I think we're hoping to try and get a little bit more than just a field goal here, but they'll settle for that, I'm sure. 1:01 left. They hike the football, looking wide open over the middle. Trying to make a move down to the 20, another timeout for Cleveland here, and they are continuing to push deeper and deeper into Toronto territory.
Let's go, team. It's gonna be a long day offense.
Baker Mayfield takes the snap. Fifth man comes out late on the 5-man rush. Nice tackling there from this Toronto defense. That is some teamwork to get him for 0 yards. Baker throws it deep, wide open, and a touchdown for Odell Beckham. That was a really nice play there. Odell, he's just going deep. Absolutely burns his man on the outside here, but more than that, he goes up, and despite good effort there to not give up on the play, they still go ahead and tackle him. Maybe they could force that ball free, but that is not happening with Odell Beckham as he goes ahead and gets his first touchdown on the year. Good stuff from Odell, and all of a sudden, this Cleveland Browns team is stretching this lead out before halftime, making it, pending this extra point, 17-3. We desperately need to get some points from this Toronto team to keep this a viable game. They got 25 seconds and 3 timeouts to work with. We'll have to see. And it looks like Nick Nelson is a little, unhappy, trying to talk to Josh Bynes, I believe, figuring out what is wrong right now. And that's exactly what John Gruden's doing. He's going to talk and asking the veteran presence in the middle, what can we do? All right, we got a return here past the 30 on this kick return, and he's still going to the 35-yard line. Good return here. I believe that is CeeDee Lamb, or either CeeDee Lamb or Ashton Dulin right there. I believe it might be Ashton Dulin on the return, as CeeDee Lamb comes onto the football field now. All right, can Fitzpatrick get something going? We got a bunch set on the right-hand side. Fitz takes this ball, scrambles out, finds his man, and does not make the catch, though. That was a decent throw from Ryan Fitzpatrick, but because of the contact, it's an incomplete pass. And Fitz goes back over the middle here, gets his man. They take a timeout immediately with about 9 seconds left. They're going to need some miracles going here. Henry Ruggs with his first reception. 3rd and 1. They are going over the middle. Oh, and look at him go. I believe that is Henry Ruggs again. He's got the speed. Oh, 3 seconds left. They take a timeout. This is a long field goal for Josh Lambo. And off the crossbar. Man, that was a very long field goal. They just needed about 1 more yard. one more yard, and that could have been a very nice offensive drive to get some points on the board. But instead, going into halftime, it is all Cleveland right now. Pretty clean game, though. It's sitting at a solid 0-0 on the takeaway chart here. Alright, looking at the halftime, we got the Giants absolutely wrecking the Bengals right now. And I believe that is Justin Herbert on the Bengals and Tua out there in New York. That's right. We got some interesting names out here with Joe Burrow on the Chargers and Josh Allen with the Buffalo Bills. And the Bills are beating up on the Joe Burrow-led Chargers. And we've got Mitch Trubisky trying to lead his first, team really here with Dak Prescott, though, showing him what's up. Despite the fact that Dak is throwing an interception before Mitchell Trubisky. Interesting stuff there. Alright, we've seen some good play so far in the first half here. From both sides, actually. Despite the fact that Toronto is clearly overmatched, they were able to hold this offense to only 17 points in this first half, which I know 17 is still a lot, but given the fact that they are so overmatched, I honestly expected it to be worse. I think everyone did. But you can tell the total yardage, 200 to only 59. It's really not that close of a game. And play action for Ryan Fitzpatrick over the middle. Very nice stuff to start this first drive. 6 for 9 for 58 yards is Fitzpatrick, and a first down right there. And they are once again throwing the football again out of the backfield. That is Patrick Laird out on the right-hand side for a 7 for 10 start for Ryan Fitzpatrick. We got high formation here. They're going to hand the football off the right-hand side. Patrick Laird cannot get anything, though. It's tackled for a 1-yard loss. It's not bad. He does break that one tackle, but just too many bodies over there for him to get through. We see Josh Bynes on the sideline, talking to some of these young guys. It's Rasheed Green there. He's trying to set things right on the defensive side. Offensively, though, they're 3rd and 10 at their own 39. Pitts throws over the middle again. And this time, I believe that's close to a first down, and it is a first down. And that is Delaney Walker with a second catch, 10-yard reception there. Just far enough for the first down. That right there is why we signed Delaney Walker in the offseason. He has been such a great, veteran presence this offseason for some of these young guys. All right, they've got a bunch set on the left-hand side here. And a nice run up the middle, I guess to the left there, with Patrick Laird hitting his best run of the day, 7 yards. And we got Fitz faking the throw to the outside, and it's a draw here, and Laird goes backwards. 2-yard loss, making it 3rd and 5. A lot of things are open here on this play calling sheet. The question is, will they get this first down? Can they scheme up another play? They seem to be throwing it to the middle, like I said, targeting those linebackers a lot here. Let's see if they do it once again on 3rd and 5. And they're going to fake the handoff. Fitz drops back and can't get the throw off. Myles Garrett getting to a nice sack there for this Cleveland Browns defense, just shutting down whatever momentum that this Toronto Huskies offense had. They did have some good momentum there, and he tried to get that throw off, but once he saw Myles Garrett was coming, he just tucked that in and made sure he didn't fumble it. Veteran right there, veteran play. Some of those younger rookies may have tried to let that ball loose and ended up either with a duck or a fumble. So hopefully that is the type of veteran presence that we are expected from Ryan Fitzpatrick this season. Alright, it looks like they're going to be punting the football at their own 46. And a pretty bad punt here. I think that it slipped out of his hands because of the rain, and they're going to get the ball at the 33-yard line. Alright, we're seeing some gang tackling so far from this Toronto Huskies team. That seems to be the way they're getting these Cleveland Browns down. Looks like it could be a run here on first down, as they have a man in motion. Go to the left-hand side. And it's actually a pass. Baker going over the middle to Odell Beckham for the first down. Only one incompletion on the day for Baker Mayfield. Alright. It's going to be a fake handoff. And then a flag is down, but almost an interception.
Ineligible receiver downfield. Offense.
An ineligible receiver downfield with Kendall Lamb here, the left tackle.
Keep playing hard.
Still first down.
So it's going to be 1st and 15 now from the 38. This is an opportunity for this Toronto Huskies defense to get a stop now. It looks like they're handing it off to Nick Chubb up the middle, and they get him. Only about a 1-yard gain there. 2nd and 13 now. There's Ellis once again with the tackle. And they're throwing a quick outside, but all over that. Odell makes the catch, however, for no yardage there. This defense saw that coming. That's the rookie. And again, over the middle on 3rd and 13, they complete it to, that's right, Austin Hooper again. He just seems to be doing everything for this Browns team. He is their, player to look out for, really, on those long 3rd downs. Over the middle once again. They make the tackle, but it's just too late. Alright, you got a man coming inside. That's Jarvis Landry. And it's going to be a pass here. And a bad pass. That's the first really bad pass from Baker Mayfield. Only the 2nd incompletion on the day there. And Baker takes another drop back. He's got all the time in the world. Drops it off to the right-hand side for 4 yards here. That's another Austin Hooper catch. His 5th reception, 71 yards. Baker takes this 3rd down snap, though. 3rd and 6, open, downfield. That is Jarvis Landry. 26-yard reception. They're just getting torched on 3rd down. They can get them to 3rd down, but they just can't stop them on 3rd down. And that is Rashad Jones with the tackle, preventing the touchdown, but unfortunate. Alright, from the 15, 1st and 10. Baker takes the snap, hands it off up the middle. Kareem Hunt for about 9 yards here, making it 2nd and 1. In the I formation, Baker under center. He snaps the ball. It's going to be a fake. And Baker going over the middle, and oh my goodness, that was almost... The defender tries to bat the ball down and almost goes right into the offensive player's hands. And Baker snaps this 3rd and 1 over the middle once again. And that is Jarvis Landry for his first touchdown, making it 24-3 pending the extra point. Ah, that's unfortunate. It's just Rashad Jones was too late getting over there, leaving the corner one-on-one without inside leverage. It's going to be tough. There's the extra point to make it 24-3. A nice 10-play drive there from this Cleveland offense. The question now becomes, what can Toronto do to just have some momentum going into next week? Because clearly down 21 points, they're really not in this game at this point. This is more of a learning situation and a developing opportunity for a lot of these young players. As Ryan Fitzpatrick takes over at the 24-yard line, and it's going to be a fake throw here, draw handoff up the middle for -2 yards. I'm seeing a trend here. And it seems like the Toronto Huskies just cannot run the football. Alright, Toronto takes over 2nd and 12 from their own 23. Got 2 receivers on the right-hand side, and that's where they fake it, and they do another draw play here. This one gets some good yardage, though. Patrick Laird getting about 6 or 7 yards. And Ryan Fitzpatrick throws over the left-hand side, gets the first down. That's what we like to see there. And that is the rookie Keontae Bonds with his first NFL catch. And that nice little out route, gets the first down, continues moving the football downfield and getting a first down, keeping the drive alive. Alright, got another little bunch set on the right-hand side. Fitz drops back, throws to the left. Is that caught? And that is caught by the receiver for a first down. That was impressive. What a way to end the third quarter. A nice play. The defender was all over him. I cannot believe that was a reception there at the 49-yard line now. And they're making a move. This is going to be a screen pass on the left-hand side. They've got some blockers out front. Patrick Laird. Fitzpatrick is now 11 for 14. No interceptions. 99 yards, but he's making a drive here out of nothing, it seems like. Once again, Fitz over the middle with a completion. Over 100 yards in the day. CeeDee Lamb with his third catch. And Fitzpatrick, another screen pass. This time it's caught, but the momentum brought him backwards for a -5-yard play here. Unfortunate. Patrick Laird with 5 receptions on the day. He's going to be a PPR machine out here for your fantasy team. Just not getting the yardage, though. I believe that is the young linebacker, Mac Wilson, with the tackle. We got 3 receivers to the left-hand side. And Fitz drops back, drops it off, breaks the tackle. Patrick Laird making people miss. What a play. A little dump off, goes for about 10 yards or so. Good stuff there. 3rd and 5 from the 31 in field goal range. Fitz drops it off. Oh my gosh, misses the man open on the left-hand side. That's unfortunate. A wide open receiver there on the left just doesn't hit him. You know, that was CeeDee Lamb, I believe. Open on that left-hand side. Alright, so empty backfield. 4th and 5. He drops back, immediately throws it deep. Oh my gosh. Oh, that was a one-on-one really with the safety there with CeeDee Lamb, and if he would have got a little bit more inside leverage on the safety, I think the CeeDee Lamb makes that catch there. But that's just not quite the way it panned out there. The Browns with the stop on 4th and 5. Great drive there by Toronto. Just doesn't come up with any points. And looks like Baker in this offense is going to try and run this clock out, run this 4th quarter down. That's what I'm expecting here. And that's exactly what they do. 2-yard run by Nick Chubb, who for the most part has actually been kept in check. Pretty impressed by this Toronto defense. We got Nick Chubb once again. That's a nice run there. About a 12-yard run, first down. He's just getting everything going downfield. I think this defense is getting tired. We're into this fourth quarter, well into this game. They've been playing all out on the defensive side of the ball, trying to make stops. And once again, a run right up the middle. Nick Chubb gets tackled for about a 6-yard gain. 6 or 7-yard gain. 2nd and 3 here with about 5 minutes left. Baker Mayfield hands the football off. That's Kareem Hunt this time. Up the middle. Gets to the 40-yard line. Just all sorts of holes right now. I think this defense is officially gassed. I don't think that Toronto is going to be able to do much against this very good offensive line. So expect there to be large holes until they get to the end zone here. Baker Mayfield hands the football off right up the middle. Once again, first down and more for Nick Chubb. I think I might have jinxed them. I said they were able to hold Nick Chubb. So, unfortunately, we weren't able to do it there with Quincy Williams making the tackle.
You ain't going nowhere. Joker, 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 Joker.
Alright, Baker handing the football right up the middle. Huge hole. And that is Nick Chubb, who is just rolling now. He's got some momentum. Rashad Jones makes the tackle. But he is just look at that, protecting the football with both hands. He's not trying to do anything special. As soon as he gets hit, he goes down. He's playing smart football out there. 3 minutes left in this game. Cleveland with a 21-point lead. They hike the football, hand it right up the middle again. Nick Chubb. 3-yard gain. We're going to have one more play before the 2-minute warning. And they try for a pass. Shocking there. It is complete, though. It's a short little pass to Odell, who tries to make a move. Can't make his man miss. Goes down for no gain. It's 3rd and 7 now. Can we see a stop from this Toronto defense? Their backs against the wall. And the answer is no, because Nick Chubb is just too good. And he's pushing 100 yards in the day. If he can get this 2-yard touchdown here, Nick Chubb has over 100 yards, finds the end zone, or is he going to get vultured again by Kareem Hunt? We'll have to wait and see. He trips there. If he doesn't trip, I think that he has a touchdown. He breaks that tackle, trips on his own offensive lineman, ironically.
Mike 54. Hey, that QB's trash. Let's go.
Oh, Nick Chubb gets hit in the backfield, actually. Goes backwards. 2nd and goal. I'm surprised Toronto's not calling some timeouts. Or maybe they have just accepted their fate. Nick Chubb just shoves that defender off, but the rest of the defense comes rolling.
Watch the curl. Watch the curl.
Another handoff to Nick Chubb, and this time gets to the 1-yard line. It's about as close as you can get without getting in. Nick Chubb just pounds his way down to that 1-yard line.
Check. Watch 54. Watch 54. Here we go.
That should end this game. With zeros on the clock, Cleveland, thank God, does not score again. That would have been very, very disappointing. It is 24-3, the final. overmatched and overpowered. This Toronto team put in a good effort, I will say that, but they just weren't able to do enough. Only 100 passing yards, only 22 rushing yards. I think they had a total of about 150 or fewer offensive, just total yards on the day, really, for this team. So it's not what we were looking for. Fitz knows it. He's looking out there like, I wanted to put a better product out there, and we weren't able to get it done. And he's headed to the locker room a little disappointed, Decent performance from him, though. He didn't make any big mistakes. About a 74% completion percentage on the day. Not bad, but Baker was just better. He was better. His team is better. I am honestly surprised that Toronto put up this much of a fight. So shout out to Toronto and Fitzpatrick with their first ever game. It is an L, but hopefully they're able to make something out of this season. I really do think that this team has some fight in them. We'll have to see how it ends up panning out. That is the first game, though, for the Toronto Huskies here, and it's not looking too hot to start the season, but there is some things to look forward to. As Josh Bynes did get picked on a little in that game, he doesn't have the speed that you look for some of these middle linebackers. At 31 years old, he is on the older side, and he's never been a super fast guy. 79 speed. He's not going to be a blazing guy, but he makes tackles. We saw him make a lot of tackles today, and so you can't really blame him for that. The captain in the middle, they need that veteran presence. I'm not going to, look at him and expect him to be an all-world coverage guy. He's going to need some help. So he did get picked on a little with Austin Hooper being the guy in this game that really opened this football game up. Because for the most part, the rush defense until that, that last fourth quarter there was really good. They were able to shut down some pretty talented running backs. And pass coverage, outside of that, those passes to Austin Hooper, they did a pretty good job. They had a couple of longer plays, one to Jarvis Landry there, and then another to Odell for that touchdown. But the corners themselves actually held up fairly well, given the clear outmatched offensive weapons that they had. So Josh Bynes here, after a tough performance, gave his all, and he gets an upgrade point. And I'm going to go ahead and put it into field general. We're going to try and get him that will work on both, obviously, tackling, pretty much a little bit of everything in a sense. But more than anything, there's a chance that he could get some pass coverage upgrades. Obviously, we could go to coverage, but I want to see if we can just also raises his overall. Alright, so we do get some man coverage, man in zone. Some play rec, though, which I'm excited about. Some block shedding, in case he should be able to help him out a little bit more now in the running attack. Alright. And so this Huskies team moves forward now 0-1 coming out of week 1 with the Titans. The division rival Titans up next. First divisional game here. Let's see how this ends up. Let's see how this ends up going for this team, I guess, here. All right, moving forward. Alright, we are now in week 2 of this NFL season, and everyone in our Division 1 except for us, unfortunately. And I'm going to real quick roll through some of the starting quarterbacks in the NFL. I imagine that looking at some of those guys that were featured in the last halftime report, you're probably wondering how are some of these guys on some of these rosters. So I'll go ahead and real quick roll through that. And then I think we're going to call this a stopping point, possibly, after this. Not a bad start to the season. I know they didn't put up a lot of yardage, but they fought hard in that Week 1 performance against the Browns. Probably a Super Bowl contender this year. That they could easily win the Super Bowl this season. So look for that to be a starting point more than anything. So if they can improve from there, I think there's a chance that we see some Huskies W's on the schedule moving forward. But first things first here, let's go check out the overall team, or excuse me, I guess outlook for the quarterbacks in the NFL this season. So obviously we got Fitz, but who does everyone else have? Alright, we'll start at the top here with the Bears. They still have Mitchell Trubisky with Nick Foles. That's right, Nick Foles on the Bears. And they actually drafted or signed Jalen Hurts. So they have Jalen Hurts, Nick Foles, and Trubisky. An interesting quarterback room. Maybe Jalen Hurts can be the quarterback of the future for the Bears. Then the Bengals have, that's right, not Joe Burrow. They have Justin Herbert instead. Still pretty good, and they still have Andy Dalton on the roster. We'll have to see how that ends up panning out, but Herbert is their guy for the future. The Bills have Josh Allen, as we all know. The Broncos have Jameis Winston and Drew Lock. Drew Lock's still there in this. Jameis moved on from Tampa and came to the Bucks here. An interesting move for this moved on from Tampa, came to the Broncos, An interesting move for the Broncos. And then the Browns have Baker, as we saw. They also have Nick Mullins, good backup there. And then the Bucks, they still have Tom Brady, an aging Tom. That's right. And they also have a young Jacob Eason. So we'll have to see if he ends up being a quarterback after Brady leaves. And then the Cardinals have Kyler Murray, yep. They have a rookie that they drafted here, an Eric Green. Could be a good backup to Kyler. And they have Joe Burrow on the Chargers. So, the Chargers and the Bengals flip-flop their quarterbacks here, with Joe Burrow going to the Chargers here. So, this is kind of a what-if for you Chargers and Bengals fans. So, Joe Burrow to the Chargers. And then the Chiefs still have Mr. Pat Mahomes. The Colts have Phillip Rivers. Yep, Phillip Rivers on the Colts. That makes sense. They still have Jacoby Brissett. And they have Jordan Love. That's right, Jordan Love on the Colts here. They have quite the quarterback room there. And the Cowboys have Dak, as we all know. The Dolphins have Gardner Minshew as their QB1 with Kyle Sloter, ex-Viking, Kyle Sloter. Gardner Minshew, though. Minshew Magic down there in Miami. Miami Minshew Magic. The Triple M. And we'll have to see how that Miami team does this season. And then the Philadelphia Eagles still have Carson Wentz and Tyrod Taylor. The Falcons have Matt Ryan at 35 years old. Probably moving on from him soon. And then the 49ers have Jimmy G and RG3. The Giants here have, that's right, Tua. Mr. Tua goes to the Giants. No more Miami for Tua. He is on the Giants, taking over for Daniel Jones, who is now a backup in the NFL. Obviously, we have Fitzmagic. This Jets team has Sam Darnold still, unfortunately. And then Matt Stafford is still on the Lions here at 32 years of age. The Packers have Aaron Rodgers still going strong at 36. The Panthers have Teddy B. That's right, Teddy B on the Panthers. So maybe he sticks around long term. We'll have to see if he stays in Carolina or not. The Patriots have Cam Newton. That's right, Cam Newton as the superstar quarterback for this Patriots team. And then the Raiders have Derek Carr and Marcus Mariota. So, a decent duo there for the Raiders to work with. The Rams have Jared Goff and Case Keenum. Ravens are sticking with Lamar, as we all expected. They also have a rookie, though, to be his backup. The Redskins have, rest in peace, Dwayne Haskins. Hopefully he can perform pretty well for this Redskins team moving forward. It looks like he could be the quarterback of the future for them. They also have Kyle Allen and Anthony Gordon as some backup depth. The Saints still have Drew Brees, probably nearing the end of his career. They have a rookie here behind him. Russell Wilson, one of the highest rated quarterbacks in this game, had obviously with the Seahawks. We all know how that fell out for them, but in this world, Russell Wilson is still a Seattle Seahawk, and Jake Fromm backing him up. Now, the Steelers just drafted Jacoby Caldwell, who takes over for Big Ben, who's still on the roster, however. So he's kind of mentoring Jacoby Caldwell here. So in this world, they don't get rid of Ben and then get a quarterback. They get a quarterback and hold on to Ben to let him mentor him. The rookie, though, could be a good quarterback for them for the future. They also still have Mason Rudolph. This Texans team still has Deshaun Watson. And then the Titans, we got Ryan Tannehill on the Titans still, aging at this point. We'll have to see how many more years that he is a starter. They also have a rookie behind him, Chandler Holmberg. And then the Vikings. Ah, yes, my Minnesota Vikings. They're rolling with Mr. Kirk Cousins still, 32 years young. I expect them to hold on to him for another season or two, and then probably move on. So they also have a rookie here. It looks like a pocket passer, and Dennis Prince from Temple. So that's kind of the way the quarterbacks look right now. These are the overall quarterbacks in the NFL. Tua up there at an 87 as, I believe, the 5th best quarterback in the NFL. So we'll have to see. It looks like he might have a pretty good NFL career for New York, of all teams. So keep an eye on that. We'll check in as to see how things are going in the NFL. Occasionally throughout the season, we'll look at the stats and a few other things, but we'll have to just more or less keep an eye on what is going on in this NFL season here for the Toronto Huskies. And real quick, I'll show you guys the schedule for the future here. We've got the Titans next week, our first away game. And then we got the Jets, Vikings, Bengals, Bears. So some winnable games in there possibly. And then we have the Colts. The Ravens will be a tough one. The Texans will probably be tough. The Colts again, obviously, with that division. And we got the rookie with the Pittsburgh Steelers there. We got Matt Stafford coming to town. Obviously, the Texans will be another tough matchup. Both those will be hard ones to win. The Raiders, the Packers with Aaron Rodgers. And we finish out against our opponents next week, the Tennessee Titans. So hopefully we can see some of these turn into some W's. I don't want to just be taking L's every single week here. So we'll have to see, though. I'm excited for the future here, and Ryan Fitzmagic is excited for the future. Disappointed coming out of that Week 1 loss, but a lot to build on for this Toronto Huskies franchise. I will see you guys next time. My name is TayVikes28. Go check out all of my other stuff here, and I can expect to be putting another video out here soon, hopefully, for our Week 2 matchup against the Tennessee Titans, and we'll have to see who is our breakout player. But you'll have to tune in next time to see out who the breakout player is. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe and like and comment if you have any feedback, good, bad, or otherwise. I enjoy any type of feedback. And like I said, Tune back in, see what happens next week. Until then, have a great day.